the outlets continue. At least they're keeping the same energy, Chris, but they continue to not be that high on the Kings even after the move, which is interesting when you look at the landscape and Monty McNair sitting down with our own Jason Ross saying that this is the core these outlets can be wrong, right? These outlets can be wrong, but you are seeing basically not the vibe of a PJ Carlissimo who was calling a game and Monty McNair sat down with them and said it was a perfect fit. And we had Tim Legler, who is now a friend because he was very high on the move. But ESPN.com, not so much, Chris, as they still have the Kings in that number 15 spot.
Yes.
Which is right where Vegas kind of has the Kings at 45.5 wins. And basically everybody, Chris, is it crazy to you that essentially everybody is saying that DeMar DeRozan and Harrison Barnes are the same? This is
it's getting crazy.
This is nuts.
It's getting crazy. Somehow the Kings haven't gotten better at all, and apparently everybody else around them has just gotten leaps and bounds better.
Yeah.
So much so that it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Let's just go through it leading up to 15, and then we can go a little bit behind 15 as well, just to get a gauge on where they kind of have the Kings slotted. Number one, of course, this is all in the thought of it is a post free agency power ranking where they take obviously all the moves that have been made this offseason and try and factor it in.
And is it weird that they're doing it now?
I think so. I definitely thought that as well.
This should be at part one.
It's not even over yet.
Right.
Things could still happen. I guess maybe this is them trying to see that maybe they know what Dave knows, and this is just the dead period, and they're like, we need something. Number one, Boston Celtics, no shock there. No major departures, only one notable addition, and that was their draft pick. OKC at number two. Number three, Minnesota, which puts and try and mentally, I'll recap it at the end, but mentally try and keep track of how many Western Conference teams here they have in front of the Kings. So again, Boston 1, OKC 2, Minnesota 3. You got the New York Knicks at number 4. You got the Dallas Mavericks at number 5. Of course, the addition of Klay Thompson. They seem to think that definitely puts Dallas up in the top 5. Number 6, they have the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 7, they have Denver. Number 8, Milwaukee. Number 9, Indiana. And as we say, Milwaukee as well, I should mention, just literally got a tweet notification from Shams saying that Bucks star Chris Middleton has undergone arthroscopic surgeries on both of his ankles this offseason. So definitely not a great sign for the Bucks, as they already are pretty injured and are honestly kind of skew towards the older side with some of their non-Giannis players. Definitely not great when one of your key stars has surgeries on both of his ankles in an offseason. Number 9, Indiana. Number 10, Cleveland. Number 11, Orlando. Number 12, Phoenix. Number 13, making a massive, massive, massive leap, the Memphis Grizzlies, all the way up at number 13, only adding Zach Edey this offseason, but not losing anybody. New Orleans Pelicans sit at 14. And yes, Alan, like you said, the Sacramento Kings are sitting right in the middle of the league, 15 out of 30 in the NBA. Number 16, Golden State. Number 17, LA Lakers. Number 18, LA Clippers. 19, Heat. 20, Rockets. 21, Spurs. That's kind of rough. I'll kick it off. And in the Kings write-up, they say, is the signing of DeMar DeRozan enough to propel the Kings in the West? DeRozan joined the Kings. Joining the Kings is one of the biggest free agency signings in Sacramento franchise history. Despite having to give up Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte, especially on the offensive end, DeRozan's offensive prowess, especially his mid-range game, should fit nicely alongside Sabonis, Fox, and Monk, who signed a 4-year extension this offseason. However, DeRozan's defensive limitations won't help in an area which the Kings are desperate to improve, and that was a write-up from Kendra Andrews.
Now everybody cares about defense.
All of a sudden.
Now everybody cares about defense. You know, as a team, Chris, and Deron Holmes, had unfortunately joins the Achilles crew.
That's right.
You know who is a team that I think is gonna, and I've kind of been on this.
Yep.
I think the Denver Nuggets are.
They definitely could. Definitely,
they're going to be in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the Denver Nuggets are too high. I think the Mavericks, you got to give them respect. That's fine. I think the Knicks are a little bit too high for me. Can't really argue about the Thunder and the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
The Sixers, fine.
Sixers.
You know, you get PG. The Bucks,
who knows?
Like you just said, 2 ankles, right? You're doing the Sasha Vezenkov impression.
Yeah.
So I think the Bucks are maybe a little high. Pacers, trying to give them Pacers
Sure.
and the Cavs, I think is fine. We'll put them there.
I think the Kings are better than both of those teams.
I think the Magic, we're hoping to have a bigger free agency. I don't, not to disrespect Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and they got your guy Tristan da Silva, but I think the Magic, it's going to be more about their internal growth than what they did outside. The Suns are just getting the benefit of the doubt for having that quote unquote big 3 who never play together. Right. The Grizzlies, I have been on the camp of not sleeping on the Grizzlies, so I'm not going to deviate there. And the Pelicans are fine. Look, the Kings, they should definitely be, I think, in that 12, between 10 and 15, but 15 feels too low.
Right, they're on the back end.
I don't know if they should be number 10, but I'm looking at 11 and 12 thinking, all right. And again, that gets me to that 5 seed, 4 seed conversation. You're at 15 in the West. Yeah. You're looking at playing again.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you said it with Phoenix, but how much about this is just narrative too, where it's like Cleveland, okay, I think everyone feels positive about Cleveland and the direction they're going. They obviously get a new coach and they re-up on Donovan Mitchell and they don't trade anybody. People feel good. Orlando's kind of the fun, exciting young team that it's like, yeah, of course, we're going to have good feelings about them. Phoenix, you're going to put them above Sacramento, exactly what you said, because of their big 3. They have Kevin Durant. They get Mike Budenholzer, who's just perennially amazing in the regular season and can't get it done in the postseason, except for that one time. And then the Grizzlies, I think that's, again, like you said, everybody is like, the Grizzlies, don't sleep on them. They're going to be better than they were last year. Don't forget about them. And I think that it's just, it bakes into the narrative of, I don't know how many people are excited about the Kings coming off of last season if you don't have to be. Of course, here in Sacramento, we're going to pay tons of attention. We understand, hey, last year was last year it didn't have to go the way that it did. If guys shoot better, which I'm sure a lot of people can say about their teams, but if guys shoot to their normal percentages, feels like the Kings have a much less disappointing season. And the addition of DeMar DeRozan, I don't know. To me, it definitely feels
Where would you put him?
I'd probably put them in that 13 spot. I think I'm okay with them being behind Phoenix because of the talent acquisition, or I'm sorry, the talent that they have in the acquisition of Mike Budenholzer. But I think that it's just kind of crazy to have them below Memphis. I know that, Memphis obviously was the 2 seed the year that the Kings were the 3 seed, but I think that they've lost Steven Adams and, yes, they add Zach Edey, but that team did a lot of losing last year. I know they played tough, but I just kind of feel like I got to see it with them before I fully believe that they just are better than everybody else and had a down year like that. And I know they played a crazy amount of lineups, but it just feels a little bit early. And I get you can't have the Kings in front of the Pelicans. There's no way.
No, you can't. You can't. I think the Grizzlies are getting a little bit, and I was high on the Grizzlies, but essentially what they're saying is, Chris, is that if you look at the matchups, they're saying that Ja Morant's better than De'Aaron Fox. I don't know how you're not saying that.
No, that's what they're saying, 100%.
After a season of not playing.
I'm taking Sabonis over Jaren Jackson, their second best player.
Yes.
I'm taking DeRozan over Desmond Bane, who's their third best player.
Yes.
So to your point, I mean, unless they're
going to say
Keegan
Murray, who is
and Malik Monk.
Yeah, and Malik Monk. That's actually crazy.
I mean, they're saying that Ja is significantly better, and that's where, I mean, I guess we'll get an answer 100% if the Memphis Grizzlies are ahead of the Kings, then maybe that is a sign towards that. But I mean, I just fully believe that De'Aaron is just a bit better than Ja, especially just more well-rounded. And again, for those keeping track at home, the Kings are 8th in the Western Conference according to the NBA Power Rankings on ESPN.
Let's get to Sam. 916-339-1140. If you want to be part of the conversation, Sam wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? Hey. What you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey. Good. Hey, listen, I can show you how we can get to 50, but looking at the players, I think Keegan Murray, number one, he's probably going to get a little bit better this year. And this is barring any injury. So you have to factor he's getting better because he's young. De'Aaron Fox, is he going to stay the same or is he going to go down? Sabonis, is he going to have an off year or is he going to stay the same? So I think that everybody is underestimated. Oh, by the way, I must disclose that I am taking a bet on the 45.5 over. So I think at the end of the day, the Kings are probably easily 12. I think they're going to surprise.
Yeah.
And I love our 5, 6, 7 people. And every one of those people that I mentioned, we have a chance to grow where other teams don't probably only have 2 or 3 players that have a chance to grow up this year. So I think the Kings easily can reach 50.
Yeah, I think so too, Sam. Thanks for the call. As always, I'm looking here, Chris, and the Grizzlies thing, and I'm high on the Grizzlies. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Luke Kennard is still a free agent, or he's floating around, or maybe he went back to the Grizzlies. But you have Santi Aldama, okay, Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark. You add Zach Edey. I do think G.G. Jackson is going to be nasty.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's
looked good in summer league.
He's 25 or. Yeah, he's 19 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know he was the youngest player in last draft.
He's 19 years old. You got Conchar. You have Jake LaRavia.
Oh,
You have Marcus Smart and obviously John Morant. I'm just taking the Kings over that.
100%. And I think that
Zaire Williams, another
100%.
young guy.
Yep, never can stay healthy either. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a narrative thing. And again, it's the fun, sexy team to pick. Like everyone thinks that the Grizzlies, hey, don't forget about the Grizzlies. You know, you can't just look at the standings of last year and forget about the Grizzlies. It's just crazy.
They're over correcting.
Yes, 100%.
Right. Or they're just being disrespectful to Sacramento.
That too. It's easy to hate on the Kings.
Right. Coming up next, we have the conversation. What if they're right? What if ESPN's right?